Hey guys, we're back. It's the finale. It's our last episode. Let's talk about it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
It's the last time for this song, guys, so get it in while you can.
Boom. Boom.
Phil, I feel
The
so...
instrumental.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. What's up, guys? Hi. It's our last episode.
For now.
It went fairly quick.
It did.
At least I felt like it did. And it also started a little earlier in the year, so I think that has something to do with it, too. I'm not used to it being done by February.
Yeah, because it always used to start in January.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
different tones.
It is. Phil, where can everyone find you on social media?
At Phil Svitek.
Perfect. JJ.
Find me at JJ Jurgens.
And you guys can find me at Hayley Clover. I'm sure we'll be talking about Shameless some more once we're done with the show. But yeah, let's talk about the finale. I was saying to you beforehand that this actually was probably my favorite episode of the season. I feel pretty fulfilled with how they wrapped everything up. I know you had made a comment like, I think they did what they could to wrap it up because we had felt like the storylines were going to be a little rushed to wrap them up. What did you think overall, though, about the episode?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with how things turned out. For a moment, I thought things would get a little bit darker. For all intents and purposes, I know they have a season 9, and we'll talk about that, but it could have been a series finale if it kind of wanted to be. I think a couple of changes could have made that fully there, and it was satisfying enough. I enjoyed it.
Right.
So.
Okay. What about you, JJ?
Yeah, I agree with them. I enjoyed this one. I was happy with pretty much the way, all the storylines wrapped up, and I thought they did a good job of what we had to work with for the season.
Right. Okay, cool. Well, let's talk about how things wrapped up with Kevin V and Svetlana. We did know last episode that she was obviously going to try to crash this wedding and steal it and make it her own. But, Kevin V, they jump right into the old, role play and storyline of helping Svetlana kidnap Freelania.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Freelania's mother.
Zlata, very long last name.
Great sign. Yeah. She is drugged with Valium. Is that what it was? Yeah, they put it in her vodka, which she chugs at the Alibi and just hits the table real hard. So she's not around for the wedding. That was what they were worried about.
I love all the stereotypes just thrown right in. Even just as offensively racial as it is, just calling V a black cow.
Right?
Just all of that. I know what vodka is, you black cow. Oh my God.
Well, it's very
so
shameless.
terrible.
Yeah.
It is. She wasn't going to be like, oh,
Thanks.
what's this? Yeah, exactly. Even when she got off the airplane and was looking and didn't really understand why these people were taking her bags and stuff, you could tell she looked at her right away and was like, excuse me, what the heck? Yeah, but okay, so let's talk about what Kev finds out when they're actually at the wedding, right before he goes to get her to walk Svetlana down the aisle. The old guy's son mentions that there's a prenup. So all of a sudden they go from thinking they're about to have all of this money to most likely no money at all. We actually thought he was going to die.
Yeah, for a second, that look in his eyes, I thought, oh, he's not even going to make it to the end of the ceremony. But notice, there was a really quick one. He didn't have,
Right, they were like,
sure,
okay, now we pronounce you husband and wife. Yeah. That's all I can make it through. Yeah. What do we think happens now with Svetlana?
Well,
does she just have to take care of this guy now?
She's got to change her name to Freelania. Because that's who she's married to, and I'm sure for her that's no big deal. She'll make some IDs and we're good to go.
Or she gives Freelania back to him, knowing that there's no prenup, because it's still her name, and their family doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
See, unluckily none of us are lawyers, but to me, I think there is a difference between a divorce and just death. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making that up.
Well, if he dies, I would imagine with a prenup, even if it says, she gets nothing, in the prenup it might be like death, you'll get $1 million or whatever it is. Or it's just whatever is in his will once he dies, which she's probably not in. He can't even remember to wear shoes to the wedding. So I doubt he's changed it, in a while. But legally, I have no idea how that would work.
Yeah. What do you want to see? In the next season, do you want to see her stuck with him for a while?
I just don't I would like to see her like get to use his wealth and everything to kind of help everyone else out, but I just don't feel like that's how it's going to happen at all. Like, it doesn't seem like it's that easy.
Well, there's loopholes. She could invest it into businesses if he signs off. So we could put it into the
She could
bar,
sell
the
things
alibi.
in the house, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Right.
And
I don't know. It's just too easy. It was too easy.
Remember, she's skilled, and you know what that means. So she could get him to change the will still.
Well,
A nice going down session, and we're good.
Yeah.
That's right.
I
Just
kind
give
of
it a
would
ton.
welcome it, like, not the going down session, sure, but
That too.
but because I don't want to see, like, we've already seen them like not getting along, the three, you know. And so what I did like tonight, like the three of them kind of working together again in a
That
way.
throuple
Like,
was back a
yeah,
bit.
I like how Kev was so like touched to be the father of the bride.
That
and,
was
like,
hilarious.
Yeah, and it's, you know, so I just thought I just enjoyed that interaction tonight. So I wouldn't mind kind of seeing her like have to play this old guy for a while, then maybe see him die next season, you know,
Right.
and see what she would do with it if she would help the bar, what she would do. But so yeah, I'm all for that if that's what happens this time.
Okay, cool. The only thing I wanted to see was Svetlana show Freelania that she fit in the dress. That's the only thing that I wanted to see that I
Yeah.
didn't see, but that's okay.
I'm very nervous for Kev if we don't get rid of Freelania soon. I mean,
Oh,
just
yeah.
the way he had to, the fact that he had to adjust before going to
Yes.
CV.
Yeah,
That's something.
He's gonna be in trouble if she doesn't
yeah,
leave soon.
that's very true.
And he knows it.
Especially
He's
with
like-
her daddy underwear. What did it say?
Go daddy. Or
Go,
something?
yeah,
I don't
like,
know.
come here, daddy. I think it said something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, well, yeah, I agree. He's in trouble for sure. Oh, boy, Kev. Bless his heart. Okay, let's talk about Ian. Speaking of blessing people's hearts. Ian, obviously, we saw last week, was going to get in trouble. Like, that wasn't going to go away. Everything that he says is being taped and put up onto YouTube. And I don't know whether he thinks that he's just, like, because he's spreading the word or his word, you know, whatever, that he's not going to get in trouble at some point for, like, kidnapping people's kids and setting a van on fire. So obviously the police have a warrant out for his arrest. Like, do you guys like what's going on? Like, did you see all of this happening? What would you like to see?
Kind of. There's two routes. I mean, there's plenty of political leaders that have gone to jail and come out just fine and,
Sure.
and led countries. Now, there's good people, and then there's Hitler. So which route he goes is up to him. And I think I said it last episode that we did about last episode, but he just needs a game plan. You know, right now he's just too off the cuff. He's not. If he's gonna do this, he needs.
Well, that doesn't work with his personality and being bipolar.
But like all the Gallaghers, if they set their mind to it, they become so obsessive with it
They do.
that they come through. And, you know, even the good leaders and the bad leaders, what they did have was they just studied, you know, whether military tactics and, you know, granted, he does have a background within ROTC and so forth.
Yeah.
And just how to lead people. And I think he could do well with this. But as Trevor says, like, you got to think about these things a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Just because I don't. If it was more thought out, and if it was, I think, coming from a different place, for me, it'd be different. Like if he was truly like racking his brain about all the possible ways he could really help these people. But I do feel like, unfortunately, with the bipolar, a lot of it is being pulled into that need of like making situations heightened and like having
sure.
a heightened ego.
Well, and
like,
he
it
even
seems like-
said he felt alive.
Yeah.
And that was what was scary to me. And it was also scary because no one's answering the question of, is he on his meds? They asked it like 3 times in the episode tonight, but no one is ever getting an answer. And he's not saying no, and he's not saying yes either. He just kind of is just like, and then when he said, I feel alive. He used to say that about his meds.
Right.
They make him feel so dead inside and whatever. So I was like, oh,
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry, you know.
Well, that's what I felt too. I feel like that's why I don't think it was coming from the place that it needs to be coming from, because
Yeah.
I think it's just feeding that what he needs because of that. Even like he wouldn't look Trevor in the eye, and he's supposed to all this season be declaring how much he loved him
Right,
and
that
wanted
just,
to be
like,
back
went
with
to the
him.
wayside, yeah.
So I feel like he's getting this charge from what he's this kind of chaotic kind of thing he's creating.
yeah.
Well, as far as evidence, we have 2 things to go off of. One, last week, part of the whole speech that he would, the kid that he's trying to protect says, they were giving me meds, and so that way I would never get a boner and couldn't have sex.
Yeah.
And so he related to that. So I think that might have like propelled him to get off his meds if he wasn't already.
Yeah.
Second, now we don't necessarily know how many days have gone by, but it's not like he's carrying his meds in his back pocket. I highly doubt it if he is.
That's very true. That's a good point. I didn't even think about it that way. Yeah, he hasn't been home. But who knows? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't see it turning into him doing like any kind of hard time, like hard jail time or anything like that. I don't see it going there. And if anything, I think Fiona would try to get him to plead, that he was off of his meds and he could plead, some type of insanity before he ever went to jail.
I think what made me sad too was just having Trevor plead to him about what could happen to the center if he didn't stop this, and that still didn't change anything.
Yep, that's for sure. Especially coming from somebody that is supposed to be doing a job where he's saving people's lives, every day.
Yeah, and I think, if he wises up, the smart play would be to side with Trevor and so forth and learn, okay, the politics side of it. You can start locally and build and you can take your army that you've built and protest towards changing certain litigation and laws and so forth locally to make things happen.
Right.
I get it's a longer process and not as, quote, glamorous, but that's where Ian's got to really now become a leader.
Start. Yeah. Agreed. Okay, somebody that's not leading anyone in the direction we want them
Says
to go.
You.
Yeah, true. Is Frank.
Oh, boy.
Frank was really funny this episode, though. I enjoyed Frank this episode. But him and Liam, he's trying to get Liam to, help him steal all the stuff in his friend's house, and he just wants to go to the damn Caribbean and sit on that yacht like I do. Can I go?
Yeah. Fish much?
Right? So Frank has him go and take pictures of everything in their house, like all the valuables, and Liam, the smart little smarty pants that he is, does get his friend to tell him the code without actually having to say the code to him. He learns quick like a Gallagher in that way, a little shyster. But JJ, as we're watching, goes, "Oh, do you think he gave him the right number?" And we had to wait till the end to find out that he didn't.
Yay!
Good for Liam.
Yeah.
So what happens to Frank, Phil?
Listen, Frank is nothing if not dedicated.
Yeah, that's
whatever.
very true.
Listen, if whatever he ended up stealing was worth $3 million or any amount, good for him. He deserves that.
He got it looked like he got a silver
teapot.
Old school type of teapot.
I don't know any criminal that would go to that length to get away with it.
So nasty.
He drowned himself in a porta potty.
I don't.
Now,
Don't say it.
every time you guys use one now, forever we're all going to think about
I'm going to have to look in there and make sure no one's in there. 'Cause could you imagine? Let's just say they went that route, right? And somebody got in there and sat down to go to the bathroom and he pops up. Oh, God.
To be
so
honest,
bad.
I avoid porta potties like the plague, so not in my immediate future.
By the way, great call.
Yes.
They're gross.
Yeah.
As a dude, I have the ability to avoid them
you're
more
so
often
lucky.
than you guys.
That's very true. We have to just suck it up most of the time. But yeah, so good for Frank. He got out of it and then walked home like the Blue Man Group. right back into the living room and was like, "Don't ask."
I wonder if he's going to be upset with Liam.
I almost feel like he's gonna be proud, in some weird way. He's like, "Oh, I've taught you kind of well." But I also do like that Liam is still keeping somewhat of a good moral compass.
Me
He's
too.
like, "It's my friend. We don't steal from our friends, do we?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "F no." And he's chilling out on a yacht, that big old boat. I was like, "Yes, you go."
Liam definitely, we'll get to it later, but he definitely has watched so much over the years, so even how his reaction to Carl and the girl, so he knows enough to know that that's not good for him either, so he definitely he's on track, I think,
and
to be be good.
subconsciously while he's sleepwalking, because this is a new thing for him now that started, and he ends up in the lawn for some reason, always sleeping on the lawn. Yeah. But he steals keys.
You guys ever sleepwalk?
I don't think so.
But I've talked. But never, I don't think I've ever gotten up and walked somewhere. I have my best friend from college, her husband sleepwalks bad to where it has gotten a little scary because he'll literally leave He's just in a totally different world. That would be nuts.
I did it as a kid. I used
Really?
to sleepwalk into my brother's room and like take stuffed animals or whatever, come back. I would shower. We'd do
Oh
weird
my
stuff.
God, no way, asleep? See, it's
Yep.
like, how is that even possible to get wet and not wake up?
Well,
That's
then
crazy.
I was up and then my mom would say, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm going to school." And she's like, "It's like 3 a.m. Go to bed." And I'd be like, "Oh," like walk back to
That's
bed.
so funny. That's when you wish that you had phones that were taping everything
Right.
then, because she'd be like,
Or I don't.
well, that too. True.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny. But yeah, there's something going on with Liam where his sleepwalking is now just helping people. So I like it. We'll see what happens. with
As
him.
a whole Frank arc to this season, how did you guys feel about it? We started off, rejuvenated in our 20s, wanting to join the workforce. Now we're back to, we're beaten down by the man.
I actually think I liked his arc because it didn't get. I like to see him trying to clean it up and try to be doing well, but I mean, I don't know how. I wouldn't want to see a whole next season of that. I don't think, for the
right.
show's sake. So, and I like that he didn't get so terrible that we were like,
That's what I was
"Oh,"
gonna say. Is they didn't take it from one complete, side to the other. Otherwise, I would have been like, that's not realistic,
Yeah.
or it's not gonna happen. Because you still see some better sides of Frank right now, but in there with old Frank, like trying to steal, but he's also trying to do it just so he can retire and not do it anymore. Like that would have never been a thought,
Yeah.
stealing Social Security numbers. But then he checks his own and he's like, crap. So I don't know.
Yeah, and he's in support of his daughter-in-law.
Oh God, let's just talk about her now.
Your favorite.
My favorite. I was so happy at the end of this when she was chasing the bus and he was gone off to military school. I was like, thank God. I would have been so pissed if he didn't go back to school.
Well, I just like in general how he knew it wasn't good for him to stay, and he was making those moves to set up everything so he can make that escape.
Right.
Me too. Yeah, I was glad. I mean, it was good to see his little tear in his eye when
Oh,
he
that
was
was so sad.
I know.
I was like, oh my God.
It was sad, but it was like it made me like happy because I knew like okay, he's gonna make a good decision and get out of here as fast as he can.
I
Yeah.
thought he was happy. Who wouldn't want a fatty in an apartment with 6 kids
Oh my God.
with gunshots?
What a
and
weird monologue, right? He was just
Yeah.
like, oh shit. Like, oh my God. Yeah, good for Liam for getting him out of there with the keys that he stole. Killed it, loved it, and we were all yelling like, run! Right when he noticed that he didn't have the things anymore, I was like, please just get the hell out of the
Do you
house.
think he's gonna stay married or make an annulment from military
I
school?
don't think they're actually married anyway. They lied about their names. They went in with fake IDs.
I think the bigger question is she going to stay? There's not a chance in hell. She's going to throw stuff for like the next 2 weeks and then move on with her life and find the next.
I'm hoping we don't
Carl,
see her
quote, unquote.
again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't like her storyline. And I think, that was good. That was it. We had to go through that period of time and he got out of it. And I don't think I need to see the resolve of like what happens to their marriage because it doesn't feel real anyway. So it's like, whatever.
She's the type to move on to the next thing.
Oh, yeah. She's going to the slums that she wanted to live in the projects, with the place with an elevator that doesn't work. And she should just go back home to the nice life that it sounds like she
So
had.
restrictive.
Oh my God. Right?
My
So
2,000
restrictive.
square foot bedroom and my dad who gives me money.
It sounds awful. Yeah.
God.
I would never like to figure out what that felt like. Kidding. Okay, so Debbie didn't have a crazy storyline today. We see her toes a couple more times, or a lack thereof. She seems to be doing all right. She's just like, yeah, whatever, they're gone. But what we do see with Debbie today is she goes over to Abuela's house for a birthday party. And Derek is there
With Peppa.
with skinny bitch Peppa. And he asks for custody of little Franny.
Right.
What did you feel about that? I mean, it was kind of brushed over pretty quickly, but what do you think? Because at first she was like, F you, it's not happening. But then I think, give it 5 minutes and she actually thought about what that might mean for Franny, which was very selfless of her and, nice side of Debbie. But what do you think?
I'm for joint custody. I just feel like, yeah, I got to think of the child first, and I think it could be obviously great for her to have her mother and father in her life, and it's, you know, Derek's responsible and it's not like a deadbeat dad, you know. So I think I'm for her sharing and them trying to raise the kid to raise Franny together.
Okay.
Yeah, it's certainly no Carl. It's certainly not Charlie. Derek, you know,
It was in the beginning when he said, "F you, I'm leaving."
Yeah, but
But they were also in high school, and I get that reaction.
yeah, it's not like it was inflicted because of anything more than he felt lied to at the time, and
Right.
and kind of forced into the situation that he knew he was too young for, and now he's matured and whatnot, and so I think his intentions were never wrong. It's not like being on alcohol or another substance where you're incapable. He just realized he, as a child, he just wasn't the right age to be actually
Right.
capable.
My only problem with it is it's not the original Derek.
Yeah, it's
I
so
like the
weird.
original
Like, why can't they just? I'm still following him on Instagram. He's still in LA. Like, I don't get what the casting issue was. I'd like to know that reason. I mean, there probably was an actual.
It took us like a moment to be like, is
Is
that
that
Derek?
supposed to be
Yeah.
Derek? 'Cause
And then
it's
they
a
said his name, so that was okay. Yeah,
It's a totally different dude. This one's much taller. Mm-hmm. But the other
more handsome or no?
No,
Okay.
I like the other guy.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either.
All right.
He's not ugly.
No,
But
yeah. She could do well with
This
either
poor
one. Yeah.
kid, like, congrats on this role.
Yes.
Like, nothing towards you. Like, that's great. Yeah. What an experience. My only issue is that they still don't treat her like she's family. She's just like a vessel that had this child that they all of a sudden like want to be, you know, the family too. Like, you know, she told the grandma told her nice dress today, which okay, but then they have a family picture and she's not allowed to be
Yeah.
in it. Like that kind of stuff, it bothers me a little bit about her going for the joint custody route, but specifically for Franny and thinking of Franny, you'd have to do it. She needs the health care. She needs the money. She needs to be able to, you know.
Well, not that I really wanted to see more scenes of the grandmother and Debbie, but it seems like they're actually on somewhat okay footing. And as far as the family photo, listen, at the end of the day, Debbie's not part of that family, and especially like her and Derek are not technically together.
But if you had my child, you wouldn't have my
What
child.
a world we're living in.
Let's say I had your child, right?
Okay.
And you were like around trying to be in the picture with my child. My parents wouldn't be like, come to our family events and stand on the side. Like, if you're going to be there, you're going to be there and be in
I
it.
came for the food. I don't need to be in the photo. All right? So we're good.
It's fine, Phil. I don't plan on having any children anytime soon.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. Like, it's just not.
I got you.
They're on good terms, but they're still, like, you still can't just take my grandchild and not talk to me.
Yeah.
That would be my issue. I've raised this thing since it was little through all the really shitty times. And I'm happy to have your help, but, like, you gotta give me some props or
In all
recognize.
fairness, I feel like I would be like Joey from Friends. And if you don't get that reference, then let's just move on. I would step in.
I know you would.
There you go. I'm like Joey.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. I want to end with Lip, so let's talk about Fiona.
Oh, Fiona.
Fiona.
Good for her.
Right? I was
Yes.
all about it today. I finally, when she said, you know, it's time to go Gallagher on him, I was like, thank God. This is taking way too long to let these people stay in this damn apartment. Like, we could have taken care of this a week ago. You know?
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes I like her ballsiness, and especially like she's combining two experiences. She's combining knowledge of sort of the upper class world, let's say, of knowing lawyers and how long things take, and also knowing how to throw a smoke bomb in the apartment. So best of both worlds.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
You were glad how she.
I loved it, yeah, because I didn't want to see her leave. I didn't want to see her have to file bankruptcy because that's going to mess her up for business moving on. So I didn't want to see that happen. So yeah, so I was happy to see her go back to her roots and just take charge. And
The only thing I was like, $500 a month, F you, like, screw these people.
Yeah,
Don't give them
yeah.
money. Like, if that was me, I know she said she kept her word, I'd be like, F you, I'm not sending you shit.
In the grand scheme of things, What's it cost her?
$500 a month.
I get that, but
I know.
she's gotten rid of the plate.
Yeah,
me,
she's
it
kind of
was-
teaching them a lesson too.
For
It's
sure.
Like, it's a big F you. Like, this is how, word means something here. And
Right.
Yeah.
And luckily for her, those people probably aren't finding an actual address anytime soon for her to send them money to.
Yeah, see, it is contingent on that.
Right. They have to have an address, so this could be a while. Yeah, I was glad to see how that ended for her. What do you think about her her mystery man that answers every question with a question? We were laughing. It was like, oh my God, another one.
What do you think of her with the mystery man?
Screw you.
Yeah.
No, screw you, damn it. I was surprised to hear him actually say that he's happy with what they are right now and that he's not having sex with other people. And I don't mind him being around. I don't think I dislike this relationship, and I don't think it's one of those relationships with Fiona that I'm like, oh yeah, I love this. It's like, all right, for now, let's see where it goes.
it's interesting. And I think it's pretty realistic with how it goes in the dating world out there. Because I was like, they have a good thing. They're not, like you said, he's not madly in love. He doesn't do that anymore. And I think that happens, and there's just those
Yep.
relationships that it's good, but it's like, so I kind of liked that it was real like that. Like, they didn't make her, head over heels with him or vice versa.
Right.
But then you can still see that she actually really wants that, because she's like,
Because
you
I
can
don't
tell
think
she
she's
still
had
wants
it,
to be
had it yet,
madly in
yeah.
love with, But it was interesting that he was willing to like leave the country with her and see where things would go.
Yeah.
So I liked it.
I think it's a higher form of love. To add to your point, JJ. Yeah, I think he's experienced enough where he's been in those situations, and I think Fiona just needed to hear that too, because I think she is at that same place. Mm-hmm. Where I do think they truly do love each other.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe now is not the time to say it, but I think it's a higher form of love than that. What I would call more of an infatuation.
It's more grown up
Yeah.
type of love, like where her other relationships, like it was, like you said, immediate. The actual being infatuated with somebody for her was love, and it was never, you could never tell the difference, or she could never tell the difference. And I think kind of that's what he brings, to that relationship.
Absolutely.
We'll see. But I wanted to end with Lip because, once again, he's the one that gets me the most emotional in every single season. I will say I made it through the season without crying this year, which is a little shitty. I kind of love crying during the show. I'll be honest about it. But he, for me, was the most exciting wrap up of the year. Tell me what you think about Lip storyline and how everything turned out with him and.
I don't know. Do you want to start, JJ?
Sure, I agree. I liked his storyline. I like how we saw him, hit rock bottom, going through the AA, and then trying to help the professor. And I've loved watching that whole arc. And then I was actually, as much as I was always kind of one rooting for him and Sierra,
Right.
I was so happy tonight when he walked away because I just felt that it wasn't what he needs right now.
He finally
and I felt
helped
that,
himself.
Yeah. And I think, and I wasn't liking her either, just jumping in with him when she's still obviously still so emotional with Charlie and what's all good, the fight they had out there. Like, there's still so much passion and charge and anger there. And I don't think it's healthy for Lip to be back in that situation when she was drunk and then kissing him drunk. And I like that I really wasn't worried that it was like he was gonna fall back.
No, not at all.
Like,
You don't feel like that.
strength. Yeah. But I like that he also, I think mentally was like, I don't know that I want to be a part of somebody having this drama and being drunk and being here for it.
Well, I think he
anymore.
realized that the girl he fell in love with was a masked version of who he thought he had fallen in love with first, because he was drunk and high all the time. And now that he's sober and with her and kind of seeing everything that she deals with and all the baggage that comes with, her life and all that kind of stuff, he loves her as a friend and a person, but he's not in love with her at all.
Well, and we can talk about you wrote because I think like she was so quick to already be back with him and it was
like
your place
instant.
and then I love you, and it was like that would make me question if someone said that too. I'd be like, well, 2
and
weeks
so
ago
he
you
said
loved.
it back, and it did take him a few seconds to say it back. And I think for me it felt like he did say, well, after him telling her it's over, it then did feel like he said it because he didn't want to hurt her at the time, but, you know, didn't actually mean it. But yes, so you wrote down right after that happened.
My question was, if he hadn't said "I love you," would it be okay? Because I think
him walking away with it, would it be okay?
Yeah, because I think part of that set up the expectation for Sierra to think that, you know, that it was more than it could have been or should have been.
I think that if Sierra didn't even say "I love you" in that moment and that exchange didn't even happen, she still would have been just as devastated as she was, because for her, it didn't. The "I love yous" were just like the next step. It was just like the next words that they would say. And I personally don't think it would have made a difference whatsoever. I do get that being a thing that, you know, does bond people on a, you know, a totally different level, but they'd already been through it all to where, like, that was an old thing. And so it just kind of was like, it's like if you saw an old ex and you happened to hook up, it's not like this whole, you know, it just kind of like, it is what it is. You did it already. So for me, it would have made a difference.
The question for so a couple of things that arose. Number one, as he's convincing her about Charlie, I think I got a little questioning because, you know, I think there's the notion of, like, how many times can you fuck up and be forgiven? And I think he's trying, you know, I think he's trying to be the good guy there. Not wrongfully, but in the sense that because he's been afforded so many chances with his fuck-ups that other people should get the same amount, or if not more. So there was that aspect of it. But then second to that, I started asking about this notion of his ability to help other people without sacrifice for himself, which the dumping of Sierra was. But then he takes on Eddie's, I guess, niece. And so I'm wondering there if he's able to help her without all of a sudden now having an adopted kid.
Well, I said right in the beginning, is he going to adopt her? And there's part of me that thinks he's going to. But I don't know if that would bother me so much. I don't know if that would be a bad thing for Lip. The whole trying to get Charlie back in the picture, I don't know if I needed that. But I think that he feels like Sierra needs to be she needs some help, and I think he doesn't want her to be alone. And so that was a way of him being like...
I think she needs to know the truth, too. Because part of me, I thought he was going to say, like, hey, I knew from the get-go that Charlie...
Right.
I was like, oh, boy.
That would have thrown her over the edge. God, she would have literally walked off the curb.
Yeah, just the street.
Yeah.
So I think part of it was that he knew and sort of wanted to be an objective viewpoint. I don't know. I don't know what the way to help Eddie's niece is, though, but I think there is a rightful way to do it without being fully engrossed in it, even though I know he would love her and take care of her in the right way. I just feel the part of the whole Sierra thing was going back to what Brad said, where you got to start with a plant.
Right. Yeah, you got to take care of that before you can ever get into,
So, you know, and I think he's kind of resetting everything, and so, you know, taking care of
his bike. He took care of his bike.
And
got
Keith,
her back.
that was cute.
That,
She's like, I just like the name Keith. Well, I mean, we'll see, because he said you can come stay for a couple of days, so we'll have to see next season if that couple of days lasted a couple of days, or if, you know, she's still around.
She's
would like
adorable,
to say,
too.
Eddie, like, I get it, it wasn't your kid, and you didn't ask for that responsibility, but fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, you're just gonna leave. By the way, not even like she left her at somewhere where she could stay or whatever. She just left her in the garage just to wait for Child Protective Services or whatever, whatever it was that was coming to pick her up. And I was like,
that is very tough.
That is such bullshit.
But
poor little girl.
I don't want to presume her history, because who knows. I think the best solution, Liam's friend, what's his name? His family adopts the girl.
Oh, I don't see that happening.
Come on.
I don't see that happening, but that would be nice. Sure, she needs a place to...
Or Freelanya and her lover adopt. That'd be nice. And then, when he dies, it goes to the kid, and it's entrusted to Freelanya.
He's already got kids, and they're grown. It's going
but they're a part of Will. We got to give it to the adopted kid, because those kids need it.
Yeah, yell louder and it'll happen.
That's right.
Oh.
Listen, it's great. It's a great thought, but like Phil, it's not gonna happen.
$500 in not real money.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Oh my God. We didn't say this, but I loved when he asked Fiona if she burnt fake money, and she was like, no, and God, it almost killed me. And I was like, oh, it feels like she's raking in the dough by the way she just like throws money out.
I was
places.
glad that
Always
he
had-
asked that though, because in my brain I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder if she stacked a few on the top that were like fake, you know, just to do
Right.
that.
Would have been smart.
Yeah.
But pretty baller that she didn't.
Yeah, you know.
So,
You gotta,
do you
gotta-
guys have predictions for next season, or do we kind of
well,
wrap things up already?
I think they're questions. I mean, to recap, right? We're just going to see what happens with Svetlana, and that we'll see how the relationship goes with Fiona, I think, and then I think the rest will sort of reset itself.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's some stuff you can carry
And Carl,
through if you
I'm
want,
hoping
but
she doesn't come back. I don't think she will. I think she's done.
yeah, I think Derek might be sort of a storyline that we'll visit with Debbie. I think that's open for picking.
Yep.
Yeah, I bet we'll see more interaction with her and their family,
that family.
trying to get along with the, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that too.
So
Did they say anything about next season being the final season?
not that I'm aware of, but I think I you know, this is no disrespect to the show in a sense, but I always love when shows end on a high note in the sense they're doing well, people
too.
love it, and just get out while you can.
Yeah,
Get out
you
while
never
the
want to be
party's
the
fun.
series that goes on forever and you forget the first, however many seasons that were amazing, and then all you say is, I just wish they like Lost. I loved Lost, and all of a sudden I was lost and was like, this was so good in the beginning, but then they just totally, blew it. So I
I
don't want to
agree.
see that
I would
here.
like it to be the last one too, because then I just think we'll be blown away by the writing in every
Right, like,
episode
go
next
all
year. if
out,
it's,
right.
yeah.
Agreed.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's what I think too.
What other shows are you guys doing? While we have the time off.
Oh, well, I have a little show called Nashville that's
Look
in
at
its
that.
last season
There
as
you
well on CMT right now. So we do that at Thursdays at 7. And then also a show called Tom Girl at 6 o'clock on Tuesdays.
It's not
I would
just
love
a show.
that you guys watch.
It's JJ's show.
my show.
So go watch
You can follow
it.
that at Tom Girl TV.
And I have to pick up a show. I don't have a show for after this. Shameless is my
You've been
My
doing
love,
some stuff with
I-
Maria for her Sirius XM show, Conversations with Maria.
which is so fun and an awesome show to listen to. So if you guys have Sirius, listen. And if not, she has a free podcast that you can listen to every Friday on iTunes.
That's right.
And it's all of the best of Sirius and some really awesome, tips and interactions with celebrity friends, and it's a lot of fun. So go listen for sure.
Keeping in the shameless world of things, I do a show for South Park.
Yeah!
So that's more over people's alley.
Talk about a show that's been on forever that's
Yeah.
still really good.
That's
that
right.
writing is insane.
So it's their off season, but we're doing sort of best ofs and various other fun things. So
That's cool.
Yeah, we're having fun with it.
When
so
is
check
that one?
We do that Wednesdays. So check that out. South Park Weekly. It's called
What time?
9 p.m. Eastern. You guys don't
You'll
watch
tweet
live.
it
Come
out,
on.
right? Where do you tweet from?
At Phil Svitek.
Yeah, there it is. Go follow.
And Juliet does Versace.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
So
Awesome.
check
Yes,
that
and
out.
Juliet was
Yeah.
gone, but I know she's watching and will be back for sure. You can find her at Bonjour Juliette.
Very well
Yeah.
said.
Thank you. Oui, oui. JJ, where can they find you?
You can follow me at JJ Jurgens and JJ.Jurgens on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Hayley Clover. Thanks so much for watching this season. And again, if you need other things to watch, subscribe to AfterBuzz on YouTube, and there are plenty of videos for you guys to watch. We'll see you
Thanks,
next
guys.
season.
Bye.
Au revoir.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.